This is one of my most requested videos, how to use a NYX Wonder Stick, which I do really like, and I have given it away as part of my big giveaway. And although it has some downsides, which I will talk about in a minute, it is a great product because it's hard to find a cream contour product at a reasonable price, and cream contour is by far going to look the most natural. I'm going to show you the two different ways that I use it, and although there are loads of videos out there with people drawing all over their faces, that is not what this is. That is how you want to get a flawless red carpet photo shoot finish. I'm at home all day with my kids doing blogging and magazine stuff and whatever. I don't need to look like I'm about to go onto a red carpet. I just want to have a bit of control over the shape of my face. And so I'm going to hopefully show you a really easy way to do that. Okay, so there are two ways that I use the NYX Wonder Stick, and I'm going to show you one way on each side of my face. I'm going to be using a brush, but if I'm going out and I'm doing like full flawless makeup, then I will use my beauty blender, because I will use my beauty blender to do my foundation, and I'm too lazy to keep switching in between, so I will just do more of the Instagram thing where you draw on your face and you put stuff everywhere and then you blend it all, but that's because I'm using my beauty blender. On a day-to-day basis, I just use this brush. So if you are someone who uses a beauty blender, then these techniques will work with that as well. So daily, I don't highlight. I know that it's very in to highlight your face now, but I use a kind of glowing, creamy, I actually use the Daniel Sana watercolour blush at the moment, but either a sort of slightly sheeny blusher or a cream blusher, which for me on a day-to-day basis gives me enough highlight. I don't want to go around looking like I've been snorting glitter. If I'm going out, I will use a bit of highlighter, and this one is fine, but as you can see, it's still really got its shape. I don't use it that often. I will show you how to use it today. So the technique that I use daily, I will show you first. And again, this is for speed and because I'm lazy. So I go from the middle, your tragus, I think it's called, tragus. I just draw a line. And then I blend it with my brush. Now, that isn't the only place you want to give shadow, as I'll show you in a minute, but on a day-to-day basis, I then go up to the temple with what I already have on my brush, and then back down, and then I go under the jaw. So that line is the only line that I will use. I'm quite pale, I don't need much face shaping, and it's kind of purely a vanity thing since I had kids and my face isn't as thin as it was. I will say that if you over contour, you're going to make yourself look older, so it's all very well thinking that you're making yourself look like Kim Kardashian. You could be making yourself look older, as that is a technique. So then basically, as long as you've blended everything, so I just blend this temple bit where you want to add a bit of shadow to give shape. I just make sure it's blended. And that is it. I literally draw the line on my face, blend frantically going up and down, and then little circles so it's all, you can't see the line, and then I go up, back down, and then across the jaw, just so everything is completely blended out. I really don't want to look ridiculous. So the more Instagram-y thing I do if I'm going out and if I'm using a beauty blender is to do the line here, and then I'll do a dot there and a little line here. Obviously, depending on your face shape, that will make a difference to how much you want where. One of the problems with this Wonder Stick, and there are good points and bad points. One of the problems with it is that it is very brown, if you can see that. And shadow is not brown, shadow is grey. So I think part of the problem with contouring now is that what you're wanting to do is act like there is shadow under your amazing cheekbone, and people put these brown lines in, and it's never going to look like true shadow. So that's why I much prefer a shade like this, which is the Illamasqua Hollow, which as you can see is much greyer. But this isn't as easy to use because you can't just draw it on your face, and it's more expensive. But I mean, it's a fantastic colour. If you could get this in a stick, that would be it. Game over. Obviously as well, that will only suit a few people. So the thing to remember is a 3 shape. You want to go in at the temple, under the cheekbone, and then under the jawline. And for me, as long as, you know, it's much easier to go, oh, I want more shade to my face, and do another line and blend it out, than it is to just scribble loads and then think I've put too much on. So that's it for how the 2 different ways I use it. You can see that this side of my face is slightly more defined because I've done the actual 3, whereas this is my everyday face. But frankly, I'm blogging, doing 2 magazine, looking after my kids. I don't need to look like I've got the most chiseled cheekbones in the whole world. So the highlighty bit, you can use a brush for this, you don't have to. You can either just put it on top of the cheekbone, under here, maybe a bit down your nose and on the cupid's bow, and then blend it in with your finger. I'm going to look very odd today. The thing I do really like about this is it's hard to get good cream contour and highlighting products. Often they're much browner than this, and they're very expensive. And this is £10, lasts for ages. So if you want to do a bit of highlighting, it's just imagine where the light hits your face. You don't need to have a massive dollop on the end of your nose and all of that. Just a tiny bit under your brows and on the top of your cheekbones, and if you want a bit down the centre of your nose. But again, it's all about making sure it's completely blended in. So for me, on a daily basis, I don't need more than a bit of blush. But then if you are going to put, you can just do it. A bit under the eyebrow. So because they're cream products, they are easier to blend. So if you are new to this, then it's great because it's sort of more forgiving than a powder would be. Now, the reason that you put the highlighter over your top lip, I'm just setting my makeup now, but the reason you put the highlighter over the top lip is to give it a bit of highlight and therefore a bit of pout. So that is my video of how to use the NYX Wonder Stick. If you have any questions, then please leave me a comment below. I'm really sorry about my red face. As we all know, maybe we don't all know, I've got sensitivity at the moment, and this side of my face is feeling a little bit sensitive. So anytime I touch it, basically it flares up. So I'm sorry if that's all you can look at. If you want to get into contour and highlighting, it's a great place to start because it's reasonably priced, very easy to use, lasts a long time. But as I said, this colour is very brown. It's actually, I think one of the things about it is it's very brown on the outside. The more you use it, it seems to grey up. Anyway, as I mentioned earlier, you want a kind of shadow. You want to see what colour the shadow is on your face and match that. But this is a very good place to start. Thank you so much for watching.